Shalom, it's Levi Shore. Welcome back to Sweet Good Torah. Okay, we're doing Parsha Chayei. We're talking about the spiritual greatness of Rivkah, of Rebecca. And here's the question: why does the Torah repeat the incident with Eliezer, the servant of Avraham, the servant of Abraham, and Rivkah and Rebecca? Why does the Torah repeat it 4 different times? So hopefully we're going to come up with a great answer to that, and let's dive right in. So it's interesting. The Parsha never says Eliezer's name. And the first thing it says is, the Eved took 10 camels and went to Aram Nacharaim, the city of Nachor, who is the brother of Avraham. So it's fascinating. So it calls him the servant. It doesn't call him by his name Eliezer. So then Eliezer, he asks Hashem, he says, do chesed, do kindness with my master Avraham, with my master Abraham. He says, let it be the Hana'ara, the young woman, the young lady, and it's missing a hey. Very interesting. To whom I say, Hatina chadech ve'eshteh. Please tip your jug so that I will drink. And then he's asking for a sign. He's asking for a sign from Hashem that this will be the wife of Yitzhak, this will be the wife of Isaac. And she'll say, this is the sign he's looking for, she'll say, drink, and I will water your camels. And then I may know that you choose her for your servant Yitzhak. Now it's really fascinating. So every time Rivkah she had to go to a well and draw a whole jug of water. So she had to draw one jug that she already had just to give it to Eliezer. And she would have to at least draw 10 jugs for each one of the camels. But as we all know, camels drink an incredible amount of water and they store it up for the desert. And she went time after time, countless times, back to the well, drawing as much water as she needed for the camels. And this was the sign. This was the sign of chesed, of kindness, that Eliezer was looking for. And he knew that this would be the match for Yitzhak. This would be the match for the holy Isaac. So then Rivkah went, and the Torah says, Yotzeis. She went out. And then Zohar asks this question. Shouldn't it say she came to the well? She came to the spring? Why does it say she went out? And we learn a lesson here that she went out, because it says she was born to Betsulel ben Milcah, the wife of Nachor, the brother of Avraham. But Betsulel was a rasha. He was a wicked person. So she went out from the wicked ways that Betsulel ran his house to become a tzedekis, to become a holy woman. So then it says, Hana'ara tovas mareh me'od. That this Na'ara, this young lady, she was very beautiful of appearance. And once again, it's missing a hey. And she descended to the spring, the Ha'aina, the spring. And the Zohar tells us that this was actually the Be'er Miriam. This was actually the well of Miriam. And she went out at the time of day when we daven mincha, when we daven the midday prayer, and Eliezer knew that this must be the girl, because this was the exact time where Isaac, Yitzhak, he started the mincha prayer. He started the prayer in the midday, and it was the exact time when Yitzhak davened, and here is this girl coming out to the well. So then the Eved, the servant, ran towards her and says, Hag mi'ini na me'at mayim mikadech. Please give me a sip, a little water from your jug. And she said, drink, my lord. And then she quickly lowered her jug. Vatimaher, she quickly lowered her jug to give him a drink. And she said, I'll draw water for your camels until they finish drinking. So she hurried and she emptied her jug into the showcase, into the trough, the drinking trough. And she kept running to the well to draw water, and she drew for all his camels. So the man, now all of a sudden, Eliezer is not called the Eved anymore. He's called Ha'ish. He's called the Ish. The man was Mishta'eh. He was astonished, thinking to know if Hashem made his journey successful. So Rashi said Eliezer didn't know yet if she was from Abraham's family. So why did the Torah change the language from Eved to Ish? Why is he now a man? See, Eliezer was the number one student. He was the top student of Abraham learning Torah. And he desired more than anything else in the world that his daughter, that Eliezer's daughter, would marry the holy Yitzhak, and that his daughter would give birth to the Jewish people. But Avraham had said, and he made Eliezer swear an oath, that it would have to be a girl from Abraham's family. So this went against Eliezer's personal desires. But here we see that Eliezer passed his own test, and now he's no longer the Eved, he's no longer the servant, he's an Ish Tzaddik. He has passed his test, and he has risen in his own spiritual level. So this is very fascinating. So then this is the 613th pasuk of the Torah, the 613th verse. We know we have 613 mitzvos in the Torah. So it says, the man, the Ish, he took a golden nose ring, weight a Rebecca, and 2 bracelets on her arms, 10 gold shekels of weight. Now Rashi tells us that this is a remez, this is a hint to the 2 luchos, to the 2 sapphire tablets that the 10 commandments would be on. So we see the 2 gold bracelets to the 2 tablets of the 10 commandments, and they weigh 10 gold shekels for the Eser Dibros, for the 10 commandments. So Eliezer says, Bat miat, whose daughter are you? And it says, is there a place in your father's house, Lalin, for lodging for the night? And she says, Bat Basuel ben Milcah. I am the daughter of Basuel ben Milcah, who she gave birth to Nachor. And then Eliezer knew that this was the girl from Abraham's family. And then she goes on and she says, straw and food are plentiful with us, and a place to lodge, Lalun, a place to stay the night. And then Eliezer saw clearly, this girl was not only from Abraham's family, but she had the qualities of chesed that Avraham and Sarah, that Abraham and Sarah had in abundance, opening their tent on all 4 sides, bringing in travelers from all over to teach them how there's this infinite being, that Hashem has created the world and runs the world, and he loves all his creations, and then showing through kindness the love Hashem has for all his creations. So we saw that this girl can carry on the mission of Avraham. So then the man, the Ish, he bows to Hashem, and he says, Baruch Hashem, Elokei Adoni Avraham. Blessed is Hashem, the God of my master Avraham, who has not withheld his kindness and truth from my master and me. Hashem has guided me on the way to the house of my master's brothers. And then it says, Hana'ara, she ran to her mother's house. And in those days, like there was a tent for the mother, or a house for the mother, and a house for the father. And it was more of a modest. Even in Besulel's house, there was this modesty. And Rivkah told her mother all about what had happened. But we see here, there was in these 2 incidents, the 2 tellings of the kindness of Rivkah, we saw that she was missing 2 heys. And the 2 words of Na'ara, she was missing a hey. I came today to the spring. Now, Eliezer goes back to the house of Basuel, and he's telling Basuel and Milcah, and he's telling, and Basuel's wife, and he's telling Lavan, the brother of Rivkah, and he's telling the miracle that happened in Hashem's Hashgacha Pratis, and everything that's happened in the well of finding the wife for Yitzhak. So Eliezer says, I came today to the spring and said, Hashem, God of my master Avraham, if you would please make successful my way in which I go. Behold, I am standing by the spring of water. Let it be that Ha'alma, the young woman, and now she's not the Na'ara, not the young girl anymore, she's the young woman, the Alma, and one of the heys returns to us, and we see that missing hey, who comes out, had Yotzeis, to draw, and to who I say, Hashkinina me'at maya mikadesh, please give me a little water to drink from your jug, and who will answer, you may drink, and I will draw water for your camels also. She will be the Isha, whom Hashem has designated for my master's son. Now, why is all of a sudden, now is Rivkah in this 3rd telling of the story, why is Rivkah now elevated to the Isha, and the 2nd hey returns? And we see that Rivkah has passed the test of kindness. She's proven to Eliezer and her family that she has the chesed, the kindness and the love, that she can be the wife of Yitzhak and carry on the holy mission of Avraham and Sarah. And now the 4th telling, he said, I had not finished speaking to my heart when Rivkah came out, Yotzeis, with a jug on her shoulder, and now 3 times Yotzeis, that she goes out from the wicked ways of her family and she's going to go into the holy ways of Yitzhak. Then I say, please give me to drink Hashkinina. Please give me something to drink. And she hurried, and she lowered her jug, and said, drink, and I will even water your camel. So I drank, and she watered the camels also. Now this is so incredible, because we have to remember who Yitzhak is. Who is Isaac? Who is the holy Yitzhak? He, at 37 years of age, he was willing to have his father bound him up and offer him as a korban to Hashem. When he was 37, he was in the Akedah. He was all bound up. And the Zohar tells us that everyone has a higher neshama and a lower neshama, a higher soul and a lower soul. And the goal of our life is to reach that stature of what our higher soul looks like, to go through life and learn Torah and do mitzvos and become the image of that higher soul. And when he was during the Akedah, when Avraham was going to offer him up to Hashem, his lower neshama fled out of his body, and he only had that higher soul. And he became Kodesh, and he could no longer leave Eretz Yisrael. He was like a korban. He was an offering, and he was completely holy to Hashem. and he was like this special person now that only had this higher neshama that came down into him. So who can this holy man, whose life, whose avoda is so bound up in gevura and strength and self-control, he's going to carry on the mission of his father Avraham to tell the world about Hashem? Who can marry such a holy man? Only Rivkah. But how does Rivkah come to this great spiritual greatness? Through the retelling of the story 4 times. We see the 2 missing Heys return to her, and we see that just as Yitzhak was bound to the holy name of Hashem, the Yud, Hey, Vav, Hey name of Hashem, the holy 4-letter name of Hashem, we saw through the 4 tellings of this amazing spiritual act of kindness of Rivkah, of Rebecca, that now she too is closely bound to the Yud, Hey, Vav, Hey name of Hashem. And now she can be the wife. She is the Ha'isha. She can be the holy wife for Yitzhak. And together with the chesed, the kindness and love of Rivkah, and the strength and the self-control, the gevura of Yitzhak, that they can be husband and wife, Yitzhak and Rivkah, and they can give birth to the holy Yaakov, the balance, the beauty, the emes, the truth of Yaakov Avinu Jacob. And then we see here the spiritual greatness of Rivkah, of Rebecca, and why the Torah had to tell us 4 times. Oh, I hope you enjoyed it, and hope to see you back again soon on Sweet and Good Torah.